On this week's Loudini Rock and Roll Circus podcast, we're going to count down the greatest rock and metal performances by bands or actors in non-music based films. Get ready to rock out with your talk out. It's the Loudini Rock and Roll Circus. Moms and dads, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome to the Loudini Rock and Roll Circus podcast. My name is Lou Lombardi, a.k.a. Loudini. I am your ring master for this weekly thing we call the Loudini Rock and Roll Circus. We get together, we have a bunch of laughs, and talk music shit. So let's talk music shit, shall we? We have a couple of sponsors and things we want to talk about real quick. First of all, shout out to Chris Thunderwolf Dodson at wolfscustoms.online. Chris was a great guest last week. We really enjoyed having him. And but check it out because they do custom paint jobs and artwork on musical instruments. And they do awesome work. So you want to check them out. There's the best place to do, I think he told me, is right now this website is a little wonky. So you just find him on Chris Thunderwolf Dodson or Wolf's Customs on social media, on Facebook. And that way you can see all the pictures and everything, because it's temporarily until they get the website up and running back the way they had it. RockRageRadio.com is the place to hear amazing music content 24/7, absolutely free. It's even cheaper than Sirius XM, as in free. Did I say it was free? It's free.
You did say free.
It's free. It's free. Just like that movie with Ryan Reynolds, Free Guy. It's free. It's actually freer than that. But RockRageRadio.com. And speaking of RockRageRadio.com, we have Lily V6.
What's up?
Lily V6 has her own show on Rock Rage Radio, and we're going to talk about that in a minute here. And one last thing I just want to mention, LoudiniRockandRollCircus.com and LouLombardiMusic.com. This is where you can get downloads of all kind of cool stuff, as well as find our YouTube art archive, become a member of our private Facebook group, where you can interact with us live as we record the Loudini Rock and Roll Circus podcast. So check that out, LouLombardiMusic.com and LoudiniRockandRollCircus.com. Either one will help you out. And as I said earlier in the intro, we're going to be talking tonight about about movies that have a great rock or metal performance. We're going to use the word rock very loosely. By either by the band itself or an actor gets up and does something. So, and there's some fun stuff. There's some really fun ones. And, of course, if you are in the live audience there, chime in. We will take your suggestions at some point as well and give some info as well. So, in no particular order, as I said, we do have Lily V6 from Rock Rage Radio, and we have Pittsburgh Kevin, who we did not think we were going to have because Mr. Pittsburgh was supposed to be with Lizzie Hale this evening.
Yeah, I was all excited, man. I put on some cologne, you know what I'm talking about? And she canceled on me.
Trust me, a lot of people are sad about this.
That's okay. Maybe sometime in the future we'll get together.
Yeah.
What do we have? 6 inches?
Something like that.
I mean,
maybe you do.
Oh,
so don't do.
And there it and there it is.
So let's do that again.
Okay.
So, what did we have? 6 inches? And you say,
maybe that's what you have.
No. Wow, that didn't work.
No, it didn't work because I didn't know what you were doing.
I was trying to play a sound effect, and it didn't play.
Want to try it again?
No.
No.
Oh, see, there it is. Better late than never.
And we do have the return of Bones Magoo.
Hey! There it is.
Right. The saddest trumpet player in all of jazz.
That's right.
We're going to try to cheer him up tonight, though. That is what we do here.
That's right.
Is we cheer you up.
Oh, there you go.
So with all that going on, let's go ahead and get into the topic. It's fun, isn't it, when you're watching a movie and you're getting into it, and then there's like a musical thing.
Numbers.
And I don't mean like a musical montage, because a lot of music, but where either the actor or all of a sudden they go to a club and there's some awesome band that you love playing some great song or something like that. There's been dozens of scenarios that it could be. So I'm sure that you guys are already thinking of some of your favorites as we're talking about this. So Lily, go ahead. Why don't we go ahead and get started with what you got?
The first one on my list is from Ferris Bueller's Day Off, Twist and Shout, when Ferris gets up on the hijacks a parade float, basically.
Sure does.
First he sings Dankeschön, but then he gets into this rendition of Twist and Shout by the Beatles, and they actually had on their local radio station saying, hey, we need extras for this scene, and over 10,000 people showed up and made it look like it was an actual parade, which was amazing. And actually Matthew Broderick was very nervous doing this scene because he wanted to get the dance moves down just right, so he practiced for like days and days. I think it took them several days to tape it, is what it says. But yeah, pretty cool scene. One of my favorites.
Philadelphia R&B group called The Top Notes originally recorded it in 1961. Mm-hmm. It was a hit for the Isley Brothers. It was a hit for the Isley Brothers.
They're the Chip Tam in that.
They share up with some chip chop and some time talk. But the Beatles, of course, did it. Engineer Norman Smith explained how the Beatles version came out. Someone suggested they do Twist and Shout, with John taking the lead vocal. But by this time, all their throats were sore. It was 12 hours since we had started working. John's, in particular, was almost completely gone, so we really had to get it right the first time. The Beatles on the studio floor and us in the control room. John sucked a couple of more Zoobs. It's a brand of throat lozenge from that time, and had a bit of a gargle with milk, and away we went. The session took place on February 11th, 1963 at EMI Studios, which was later renamed Abbey Road Studios. The Beatles did 10 songs that day, 9 of which ended up on Please Please Me, their first UK album.
Hot.
Huh.
Beatles, they've already made it in, and we've bloody started.
Get it out of the way. That's
They're
what we were doing.
Just getting some Beatles in you. Get a little Beatle in you. Bet you'd like a little Beatle in you, wouldn't you?
No, the one I like's dead. So.
Oh.
Wow. You only liked one.
Mm-hmm.
Harry Georgeson.
Yeah, that one. That's the one.
Okay, so what do you got there, girl?
You want me to keep going?
No, I'll go.
Okay. I thought he was going to bite me.
I know. I'm like, oh, you all right?
I do not know why this song ended up in the movie Beetlejuice. But it's a song by Harry Belafonte, and it's a really fun song.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure you know what song I'm talking about.
Yes.
Day-O. It's a traditional Jamaican song that was sung by dock workers who worked throughout the night loading bananas onto ships. There you go. Getting my banana.
Yeah.
It's daylight, and they look forward to the arrival of the tallyman, who will take inventory so they can go on home.
That is so simple. I love it.
Belafonte's version used lyrics adapted by Irving Burgee and William Attaway. Burgee, sometimes credited as Lord Burgess, is a popular Caribbean composer. Attaway was a novelist and songwriter who was friends with Belafonte. Burgee and Attaway wrote most of the songs on the Calypso album for Mr. Belafonte. It was featured in the raucous dinner scene during the 1988 movie Beetlejuice.
And it's so fun.
Actually, there's another Harry Belafonte song, I believe, in that movie.
At the very end.
Yeah.
Damn if I can remember the name of it right now.
Yeah, where she sort of floats
She's
up
floating,
in the air.
doing a little dance. And the football players appear behind her. Yeah.
You know, they have been talking about a sequel to that.
For years.
For years.
Yeah.
And everybody's kind of old now, and I can't see.
Yeah.
I mean, the time to do a sequel to something
Give it 10 years at the very latest, I would think.
Yeah, I mean, like, it's really, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know, like...
Well, unfortunately, Otho's not around anymore, so we can't have
What?
him in the movie. Yeah, he's been gone for a
I
minute.
know, yeah. So it's just
I think that maybe they could do... I think what might be fun, but they couldn't use Michael Keaton for this.
no. He's very
And
old.
he kind of carries it, doesn't he?
Yeah.
I mean, it's really his personality, but maybe you go back and you do, like, how Beetlejuice became Beetlejuice. And
That could be
why
something.
You, why
Oh, there
you
you
say his
go.
name 3 times.
Yeah.
And I don't know if we need that. You know, maybe we don't really need that. Maybe it's stupid. Because let's just come up with a new idea. So I want you out there in the movie land to come up with your own new thing.
That would be
And
great.
Just forget about
Everything else.
Yeah, let's forget about redoing shit. Pittsburgh Kevin,
Should I?
Sure.
you should do it.
All right. So on my list,
That doesn't count. I'm just kidding.
on my
Whatever you're gonna say is wrong.
just wait.
Oh, boy.
So the movie Schindler's List,
Oh, boy.
as the trains are pulling into the camp, the camp band is playing Highway to Hell. Now that's kind of. Oh wait, that's the wrong list. I'm sorry. Hold on. Well, okay. So my. Was that too soon?
No.
Is that too soon?
But you're
Too soon,
ridiculous.
everybody? Okay. See, they liked it. They liked it. All right. So I'm going to go with the movie is Lost Boys.
Yes.
Yes. Is it tea time? Is it tea time? The song is I Still Believe by that hunkalicious sax player, Tim
Capello.
Capello, yeah.
He's coming to Akron.
He's all,
Akron.
Is he all still? I think he is still
He
kind
is
of buff,
buff.
right?
Yeah.
He's
Just
all
older.
Oiled up. He's all oiled up. He's got his hand around that sax.
One of my favorite memes is no one.
Just like that.
My favorite meme is no one ever, and then this movie decided it needed this and has a picture of him with the saxophone. Like it did need that, actually.
Yes. Yes.
Why not? I remember
not?
saying that, going like, why not?
Why not?
It's a great
It
scene.
fits.
It's a boardwalk sort of thing.
Yeah.
And, you know, and so there's all kind of like craziness happening on the boardwalk. So
And it
why not?
segues into meeting the girl.
Yes.
That way.
Squeegee's right into it.
It does squeegee.
It does squeegee.
It does.
It squeegees so good. That was a good one.
It does. No,
This was a good one.
Oh, my Lord.
Oh my
So
God.
what do we got next, Lily V6?
The next one is from the movie Hocus Pocus from 1993. I Put a Spell on You.
Ah,
Yeah.
They already had a singer in the cast. The other 2 girls were on Broadway. Let's go ahead and do a song while we're at it. Let's utilize all her talents. Appropriate for the Halloween movie. Written by Jay Hawkins. It was one of the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame's 500 songs that shaped rock and roll.
Very cool song.
The sisters enter the ball.
Screaming Jay Hawkins. Excuse
Yes.
me.
Sorry. Pardon me. The sisters enter the ball, and they sing this song to sort of hypnotize all the adults so they can go and continue to terrorize the children. They're women after my own heart. I totally understand it. It was sort of rewritten a little bit to accommodate Midler. Almost not in the film because the author of the book did not want to have a live musical performance in the film. But after he saw it, he's like, okay, it works. My kids love it and everything, so it stays in.
Like, come on, man. Like, it's
simmer down
Hocus
now.
Pocus. It's not the frickin' Godfather.
Right.
It's not Schindler's List.
Precisely, with heaven, or
Oh, Godfather's my next one.
Highway to Hell.
Go ahead.
Hawkins wrote this ballad lamenting the loss of a girlfriend he wanted back. The original version was a lot slower and much more tame. Hawkins was recording for Grand Records at the time and had a hard time convincing them to release this. A year later, Hawkins recorded the version that became famous for another label and transformed the song into a spooky tale about putting a curse on the girl so he can have her. Yeah. Hawkins performed the ghoulish version for the first time at a Christmas concert staged by Alan Freed in Cleveland in 1956. He got a huge reaction for the song, and Freed invited him to perform it on his TV special. Hawkins developed a bizarre stage show around this. He would come out in a flaming coffin and wield a skull on a stick that he named Henry.
Oh my God, this guy's like my spirit
That's
animal.
great.
The producers wanted a so-called weird-sounding record, so they gave the musicians lots of food and liquor and created a party atmosphere at the session.
Of course. I like it.
The session with various grunts and groans was banned by most radio stations. Excuse me, the version, not the session, was banned by most radio stations. An edited version became a hit with teenagers who liked the forbidden sound. All around Halloween, this becomes very popular every year, right? I think we may have even talked about this on one of our Halloween shows.
Might have been the last one, actually.
So, it was also covered by Arthur Brown from The Crazy World of Arthur Brown, who also liked the use of fire as part of his stage act. Arthur Brown's only hit was Fire. There's a lot of fire in this.
There it is.
Nina Simone had a popular remake of it. Her version reached number 23 on the R&B charts in 1965. Marilyn Manson recorded this for his 1995 album Smells Like Children. I thought I knew that record. I did not. I don't remember him doing that. His growling, often snarled lyrics were a rather odd contrast to the music, although it was significantly darker and more metal, air quotes, than it had been originally. Joe Cocker covered it, of course. Yes. On The Simpsons, the song was used at the end of an episode in which Krusty the Clown invents a new sandwich for his fast food chain, which has both addictive and psychedelic properties.
No.
I don't remember that, but that's cool.
Krusty the Clown. It's a standard, guys. You know, it's one of those songs though that you have to you really got to nail that vocally.
Yeah,
you got to
yeah.
put everything into it to really make it work. You can't half-ass that. That's why singers like Nina Simone and Joe Cocker, or
Bette Midler.
Pull it off.
Bette Midler, people like that are doing it. So good ones, guys. Good uns.
Goodens.
Goodens
plenty.
and plenty goodens. So let's talk about this one here. And if Lily, if you have anything on this, you may chime in. Let's talk about old time rock and
I didn't put it on my list, but I know what it's from.
Yes.
Okay. This is I think you were over here,
Yes.
Kevin, and we were BSing, and I was saying for years, to me, old time rock and roll was not a Bob Seger song; it was a Tom Cruise song.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, if that is, and he's just right. He's just lip syncing. I get it and everything, but there was just something insanely iconic.
Mm-hmm.
He has freedom as a child, basically, in his house.
Yeah.
Was he 17?
Yeah. Oh my God! Okay, let's talk real quickly. 1983 movie Risky Business, and a famous scene where Tom Cruise dances to the song in his underwear. The scene quickly entered the zeitgeist, leading to parodies, tributes, even Halloween costumes. Seeger is okay with having the song closely associated with underwear-clad Cruise. He says he gets a kick out of it.
I bet
But
he does.
let's talk a little bit about this song. This is one of the few songs Seeger recorded that he actually didn't write.
Oh, I didn't know.
Wow.
just
Bones,
this
I
minute.
need your help on this one.
Till just,
Hold a second. Bones, what are you doing over there? Oh, Bones was in the bathroom.
he
Sorry,
needs to-
I'm sorry about that.
He's an old man.
I'm sorry
Got a
about
weak
that.
bladder.
I know. You all good, Bones? You sure? Okay. Okay. Are you ready? This is one of the songs that Bob Seger actually didn't write.
There you go. Thank you,
All
Bob.
right, thank you, Bob.
Hope everything came out okay.
It was written by the songwriters George Jackson and Thomas Jones. They worked for Muscle Shoals Sound Studios, where the song was recorded. Although Seeger worked on the lyrics, he didn't take any songwriting credit. This means that Seeger doesn't own the publishing rights to the song, and Jackson and Jones control it when it's used in movies and commercials. According to Seeger, he was feeling generous that day and says not seeking composer credit was the dumbest thing I ever did. Seeger claims that he changed all the original lyrics except for old time rock and roll part. He made sure to take a dig at disco, which was fading in popularity at the time. He recorded this with the very famous Muscle Shoals rhythm section. Have you seen that documentary?
Yeah.
It's good.
I'm looking to get it again.
Yeah. This is a famous group of studio musicians who owned their own recording studio in Alabama.
Yes.
Other singers they had worked with include Aretha Franklin, Paul Simon, and Rod Stewart. Later with Bob Dylan, they gave many songs a feeling of authenticity, which was important to Seeger because his previous album, Night Moves, was very successful and he didn't want to be perceived as selling out to pop radio. Jerry Masters, who was a recording engineer at Muscle Shoals Sound Studio, told Songfacts the story. We cut a demo on the writer of the song, George Jackson, there at the studio when we didn't have anything else to do. So they just let George sing it, and they said, let's do a little demo. It was a great demo, along with some others we cut that day. Seeger liked the song so much he tried to cut it himself, but after numerous tries with the Swampers and his band, he finally gave up. He and Punch Andrews, Seeger's manager, decided to buy the demo track from us and put his vocal on it. Oh. And at the end, ended up being the record.
Ain't that something?
So it's just a demo.
That's
And that's him singing on it. It's a classic.
Wow.
We also did Kathmandu and several more that were on the Night Moves and Stranger in Town LPs. So the classic Old Time was in reality a demo we cut on the writer a couple of years earlier. Interesting.
Wow.
Very cool.
Yep.
That's something.
Yeah, the demo just wasn't with George Jackson singing it, but it took Seeger to really kind of like make it something. Interesting, guys. Does anybody looking at Facebook?
Nobody's saying anything about this just yet. We do have Charlie Doyle on. Tracy Sampson's watching. Chris Thunderwolf and Raven are on. They're just sort of saying all hi to each other.
Hi.
Hello.
That's okay. Talk amongst yourself. It's about the party, guys. It's about the party. It's what it's all about. I don't know what order we're in. Does Pittsburgh Kevin, would he like to chime in?
That's your
Mr.
turn.
Mr. Pittsburgh.
That was good.
All right, so we're going to go back a couple decades here to a classic, one of George Lucas's first films. It's not his first one; it's actually the second one. American Graffiti.
Ooh.
Yeah,
There's a lot of music in that.
there is, but there's listen to this. But I was waiting. Where's the earth shattering kaboom? Anyway,
There you have it.
That's my earth shattering kaboom. But anyway, there's a lot of music in that, but there's only one live performance, and that is at the dance. The songs are At the Hop, She's So Fine, and Louie Louie. That's right. That's what it sounded like. Performed by Flash Cadillac and the Continental Kids.
What a fun name.
That's a great name.
Yes,
Flash Cadillac and the Continental Kids.
Continental Kids.
Oh my goodness! Let's find out.
I have that soundtrack on vinyl. It's a double one.
I might have it on CD because I've had it on vinyl. I've had it on cassette. I wore it out on cassette because I'm a big 50s guy.
I could sit there and listen to it all right through. It's all great. All great music.
Louie Louie was written by an R&B singer named Richard Berry in 1955. With his group, the Pharaohs, he was also the first to record the song. It got some airplay in some cities in the western U.S. when it was released in 57. Various garage bands heard it and started covering the song until it became a phenomenon with the Kingsmen in 63. While much of the song's notoriety comes from the indecipherable lyrics, in Barry's original version, the words are quite clear. The song is about a sailor who spends 3 days traveling to Jamaica to see his girl.
Yeah, I didn't know that, but okay.
Huh? Yeah, I just know. Yeah. Well, ain't that something?
Yeah, it's.
Are you sure it's not Marvin Berry?
I knew you were thinking that because I was thinking that
maybe
too.
Marvin Berry that wrote that, not Richard.
It was written by Dick Berry.
You just wanted to say Dick.
It was written by John Smallberries.
Yikes.
What's that from? Is that from
I
We
don't-
Need to Do We need to do a movie night with Buckaroo Banzai and
Oh,
the Adventures
man.
Across the Fourth Dimension.
Have not seen that in
I'm
decades.
saying the name wrong. It's something dimension. I can't remember
Wow.
which number of dimensions it was.
Dementia.
But yeah, Buckaroo Banzai.
Buckaroo Banzai.
Yeah, that's super fun.
That was
You ever
Peter-
seen it?
Peter Weller, right?
Peter Weller, yeah,
Yeah,
it's great.
yeah.
I think Luke Gossett Jr.'s in that too.
Dimension sounds like nerdery.
Shut up.
It's really, it's very quotable. He says
What's the back of your shirt say?
he's a
Shut your whore mouth.
You know what? That could have been on the list because he's a band.
That's true.
I mean, that isn't the focus of it, but he's like this
Yeah.
guy. He's like this adventurer, and he goes through outer space stuff. But he's a rocker, so he's like real cool, and he's suave with the ladies.
So I might be
He
okay
plays
with it. Is that
guitar,
what you're telling me?
And
Okay.
he has he's like there's one of the great scenes is where he's like on stage and he's playing, and he stops and he says, "I just need to tell everybody, no matter where you go, there you are."
All right, fine.
Yes.
He's super like
Sold.
it's like Peter Weller, like you've like never really seen him.
Right,
It's very
right,
cool.
right.
Okay.
It's very, very cool.
Sold.
I watched a movie last night with Raquel Welch
Oh, yeah.
and Robert Culp, of all people.
Oh, yeah.
And speaking of somebody like you remember Robert Culp from The Greatest American Hero. It's kind of like the stuffy
Yep,
kind of
yep.
guy.
Yeah.
He was in
I don't remember
in
it,
this
but I've seen it.
movie. I'll look up. I can't remember the title off the top of my head. This movie was a very big influence on Quentin Tarantino. But anyways, in this movie, he's like way younger. He's real hip. He's a gunslinger. He's like handsome. And he's hanging with Raquel Welch, so which, you know.
Of course,
keeps it
as you
that.
do.
The first half of the movie, Raquel Welch walks around with nothing on. Here's all she's wearing.
Tell me.
Here's all she's wearing.
Yes.
She's wearing a poncho,
Sure.
a gun belt,
Of course.
and boots.
How very Bond girl.
Very hot.
Wow.
No, nothing underneath. Like no pants, nothing.
Oh, no.
Nothing.
Not nunny.
I'm getting
You
a
all
little,
right? Get a little
Lily,
verklempt?
you take us to some
Come
music,
on,
Lily.
Lily.
I can't like do this anymore.
All right. Have you guys seen Hot Tub Time Machine?
Yes.
Okay. So we're going to go with the scene at the very beginning, Home Sweet Home, where Rob Corddry is in his car, drunk, and trying to kill himself, basically, singing to Home Sweet Home as he's doing the drum solo on the dashboard.
Yes.
He's so much of a loser, he can't even kill himself. He's just, he just fails at that. And he's very drunk when he's singing, and he handles his inner torment in the true metalhead style, and he gets mega wasted and pretends he is in Motley Crue. And spoiler alert, so if anybody listening hasn't seen it, at the very end of the movie, after the Hot Tub Time Machine sort of gets a little skewed and everything, he ends up being in the band.
Time-space
Yes, he
Yeah.
ends up in the band Motley Lou,
Nice.
because his name is Lou. Which continues to the second movie, which is horrible. I don't recommend that one. But that's from
Yeah,
2010.
that was like The Hangover.
Yeah.
They say don't ever watch the sequels.
Yeah, they're bad. They're bad.
Oh my God. Redbone was a Native American pop rock band,
We talked about that
yeah,
once.
Yeah.
and they were from Coalinga, California, led by the brothers Pat and Candido
See?
Vasquez.
Oh, yes.
Vasquez from Aliens.
Yay.
Vasquez,
Yes.
yeah. They were managed by Bumps Blackwell, but there's a lot of names in this, so you're gonna have to bear with me. Who guided Little Richard and Sam Cooke to success. To avert discrimination, he convinced the brothers to use a different last name, so they became known as Pat and Lolly Vegas. Redbone earned an audience playing clubs on the Sunset Strip in Los Angeles at the same time as the Doors were on the scene. The self-titled double album was their debut. So their first record's a double album. First of all, that says these guys have giant freaking kahunas to do that. And B, it says this is the 70s.
Yeah.
We're not going to give you one record. We're going to give you two at once. More Redbone, please. The self-titled double album was their 1970 debut, introducing their funky rock rhythms and distinctive percussion, which they called the King Kong beat. In 72, they scored with The Witch Queen of New Orleans, which reached number 21 in the U.S., number 2 in the U.K. In 73, they released their most famous song, Come and Get Your Love. Their fifth album, Wovoka, the song was written by Lolly Vegas, who sang lead on the track. But why am I talking about this song?
Why?
It's at the beginning
Yes.
of Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yes.
When Star-Lord comes out, is it Star-Lord? Am I saying it right?
I guess.
When he comes out, when he comes out, and he's looking for the thing, the magical thing that he's looking for.
Right.
He's walking around. He's got his Walkman Walkman cassette on that his mom gave him when he was a kid, and he's dancing around. He's singing "Come and Get Your Love," and it's so like out of nowhere. Because you're like, it's a superhero movie. That's the great thing about some of those Marvel movies. Like, they do not take themselves too seriously. Tons of, the Iron Man movies all have great, like, AC/DC and, Ozzy Osbourne,
But something
soundtrack.
obscure like this.
Yeah, but that was very cool for them to do this. And it goes into fitting. It fits with, like, what's coming up. That this is going to be you're going to have a good time.
Yes.
He just lays that out. It's really, really neat. And that is one of probably my favorite movie soundtracks of all time. Is the Guardian, and the second one is great too.
I guess I'll have to check that out because
Yeah.
I didn't realize they had good music in there.
It's all this great 70s.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of it's cheesemo pop, yacht rock.
Yeah, I'm not into superhero movies. So that's probably why I don't know about it. But yeah, I'll definitely check out the soundtracks.
Yeah. The backstory is that it was just like a gift. His mother died of cancer, and she had given this one gift. She had made these mixtapes for him. And so he had this Walkman with these mixtapes of music that she loved. So he became a giant fan of it.
Fun.
So it's really, really cool. It's a great sort of sub story in the in the film. Okay, so we've got Lily V6 in the house.
We do.
We do have Lily V6, and we're 31 minutes into it. So what we're going to do is we're going to, like we've been doing, we're going to take a little break. I told you guys that I would start performing on the podcast, and I'm going to. I've had some distractions. So what you're going to have to put up with is a pre-recorded thing. We're going to take a little break. You guys enjoy yourselves. Go get something to drink, come back, or just sit and listen to the music. I tell you what, while you're getting something to drink, why don't you just crank this song up?
Yeah.
Okay. It's this Peace in the Valley, and by Lou Lombardi and Keith the Hawk Hawkins and Katie Simone.
Yep.
And we're going to be right back.
Creeping round the valley floor, I hear the cry of another people. Take my hand and walk through this door. I'm gonna raise you up to the top of the steeple. Trash talking, sideways walking. They do their best, practical magic, reality twisting. I'm insistent, this comedy is turning tragic. Let's rewrite the script today. We want peace in the valley.
guys. Thank you. We are back. I also need to mention Mike Ofka, who I sent that to, is like,
Yes. Yes.
Joe Freeman, you're distracting me. I'm trying to do a show.
Come on, Joe.
I sent it to Mike, who like really turned it into something. That's why it sounds like freaking gigantic, ginormous. He did a really good job with that. So I like working with different people like that, and I'm looking for people to work with on my new band's stuff. TKMD. So I'm really excited to play some of that stuff for you guys as we start to finalize it a little bit. So, anyways, guys, great music performances, like they just spontaneously happen.
In the middle of a movie.
Awesome. You're like watching a movie,
Pop up.
and you go, "Oh, this is so
Like,
cool!
oh.
The guys are rocking out." I'm like, "Oh, like it's like a mini rock concert in the middle of the movie."
See.
So, Lily V6, what do you got?
I have one that I didn't put on the list, but my mother actually gave me earlier today, which was interesting. The movie Can't Hardly Wait. There is a scene. It's a house party movie. Have you guys seen it?
Ain't nothing but a house
Way back
party.
in like the 90s. It happened, called Can't Hardly Wait. Anyway, Jennifer Love Hewitt's in it. And the nerdy kid who was always beat up in school and everything decides he's going to get on stage and sing Paradise City. And he does this killer performance of it. It's amazing. Guns N' Roses, obviously. And at the end of this performance, while you see everybody getting sick and dying basically at the house party because they're, teenagers drinking, at the end of it, all the girls want to be with him. At the end of this one performance, and it's so epic, and I love it. I'm like, that would never happen, but it's so great, and he does such a great performance of it. Like, he's on the stage jumping, and the microphone gets thrown at him. It's so, just something.
That's cool.
I think it's from like 1998-ish.
I don't know that movie, but I kind of want to see it now.
Now I do, yeah.
It's good.
I think I do. I think I do want some.
You sure?
I think I do.
You sure about that?
I think I do want some
I
of
think
that.
you might have to.
I think I do
Are you
want some of
sure?
that cocaine.
You sure?
That's some cocaine. I want some of that cocaine.
Did you see the movie Hook?
Yeah.
With
Well,
Robin Williams.
It's the little boy who's the nerd in this movie.
Oh. I ain't got some shit.
Okay.
Exactly.
Yeah, so there's that.
Okay. Much like Welcome to the Jungle, this was inspired by Los Angeles, where the band, we're talking about Guns and Roses,
Oh.
was living. The verses deal with the rough life on the streets, but the chorus was based on Axl Rose's memories of the Midwest with images of green grass, innocence, and possibility. Slash wanted the chorus to be, "Take me down to the Paradise City where the girls are fat and they got big titties." He hated grass is green line, but the band overruled him and make the song more radio friendly. I personally agree with Slash.
Yeah, that would be so.
Because
more
I
fun.
usually sing that when I'm listening. to the
You
song.
do too. I'm sure you do.
Of course.
This is the only track on Appetite for Destruction with a prominent synthesizer. This was the first song the original Guns N' Roses lineup of Slash, Steven Adler, Duff McKagan, Axl Rose, and Italy Stradlin wrote together. All 5 members are credited as writers. According to McKagan, they started working on it during one of their very first rehearsals. And it started with some lyrics brought from a notebook. WIBC.
Oh my gosh.
Radio station in Indianapolis, Indiana, Jake Query, who is a friend of Axl Rose, explained that the part of the song where they sing "Where the Grass is Green and the Girls Are Pretty" is about when Axl Rose and his family would go down to Bloomington, Indiana. The city in which the Xbox 360 game Burnout Paradise takes place was named. Excuse me, I screwed that sentence
That's
up.
okay. I knew what you meant.
Yeah, the city in which this Xbox game called Burnout Paradise takes place was named after the song, and Paradise City is considered the game's theme song. So this is like, and it's got tons of cowbell.
That's what you need.
Matt Muckle told me this, and I think he's right. Matt is if you guys don't know, Matt is an amazing musician from Pittsburgh. He's a drummer. He's absolutely killer. And but I believe he told me this album has the record for the most cowbell.
Really?
I think that's
I think
the
there's
truth.
literally cowbell on every song.
Yeah.
Nice.
Maybe not a. Is there cowbell on Sweet Child of Mine? We'll have to go back and listen. But it's like almost every song has cowbell.
I feel like I've Googled that once, and that's the truth.
Wow.
And that's the truth.
That's
It's the truth,
because
Roof.
Google tells me everything.
Google tells me something. Speaking of telling me something, Mr. Pittsburgh, tell me something, Mr. Pittsburgh. Tell me something now. I got to know.
Okay, you ready?
You got to let me know, Mr. Pittsburgh. I don't know what's happening.
Okay, what? What?
I don't even know my name. I need a trumpet. Oh, thank you. Rock back to reality. All right, Bones McGill.
Feel better.
Mr. Pittsburgh, what do you got,
Feel
bro?
better. So I'm going to go with my next selection is another 48 Hours. You know, Eddie Murphy, Nick Nolte. The song is "The Boys Are Back in Town."
Not the
Yes, not the Thin Lizzy.
the Thin Lizzy.
Right.
I'm gonna say the Stevie Lindsay.
The band, the Bus Boys. Now you're probably saying, Kevin, Pittsburgh Kevin, why are you talking about like a rhythm and blues band in this rock and roll podcast? I'll tell you why, Lou. Because you know, Lou, look at me. Lou, look at me. Lou.
I'm looking at you.
Oh, thanks. You know who the guitar player is for the Bus Boys?
On Eddie Van Halen.
Officer Van Halen. It's Officer Van Halen, not Eddie. No, it's Vic Johnson. Vic Johnson. For those of our studio audience that don't know who Vic Johnson is, Vic now plays with Sammy Hagar and the Wateritos. And it's very interesting to see this rhythm and blues player all of a sudden become this hard rock player with Sammy Hagar. So every time I watch that movie and the Bus Boys bounce up there on stage, and I'm like, I know what's going to happen to you, Vic. You're going to turn out to be A-OK.
Oh my gosh.
There you go.
Okay.
Yeah.
Bus Boys keyboard player Brian O'Neill wrote the song. Now, may I ask,
Oh, he's Irish.
I was going to say, is he the only white guy in the band?
Actually, I think he is.
I'm looking at a picture here, and there's only
I
one.
know
I
him-
think there's
I
only
know
one
him
white
Just
guy.
on the end there.
Right.
Like,
I know him from the IRA
He's making a
meetings.
crazy face.
Sure.
He's making a
Meetings.
crazy face.
Sure.
To Arista Records. This is way back,
Arista.
guys, when there were all these like different record labels,
Yeah.
and the DJ would actually tell you, "Hey, this is new on the Capricorn label." You know what I mean? Produced by you guys don't care about that shit now.
No.
But you missed a really fun time. I feel sorry for you. The Bus Boys were signed to Arista Records. We'd finished a series of tour dates in support of our first album, Minimum. I can't talk. Minimum Wage Rock and Roll. That's a cool title.
Okay.
And spent about 8 months recording our sophomore effort, American Worker. So they got like this, a working class kind of thing going on, right? Our manager at the time was Michael Kleffner, who was best friends with John Belushi and well connected with our agency. One of the songs on American Worker album was called New Shoes. It was a unique blend of rock and soul with a cool shuffle beat. Well, there was this movie being made called 48 Hours at Paramount Studios. The film was originally slated to star Richard Pryor, but the newest, hottest young comedian of Saturday Night Live fame ended up in the role. The director was Walter Hill. The producers, Lawrence Gordon and Joel Silver. Both Walter and Eddie Murphy were represented by the same agency that was representing the Bus Boys. So you see how these things happen. I know. It's like it's the equivalent of like I got a guy.
Yeah.
I know a guy. Don't worry about that. I know a guy. I know a band. Don't worry about it. So he gets a call. I get a call from the agent, asked if I wanted to be in this movie. I said I was interested, and he set up a meeting with Joel Silver. Joe explained the film had a bar scene that Eddie was supposed to go into, and there was going to be a band playing. Joel and Walter wanted a black band that had a rock and roll edge. We were and still are one of our primary roots rock and roll soul bands that fit that bill. They had already heard New Shoes and wanted 4 more songs. My brother Kevin O'Neill and I wrote some songs over the next couple of weeks, all at the recording session for the demos to present to Joel. We had finished up 3 songs: 48 Hours, Love Songs Are for Crazies, and Monkey Mash. Wow, Monkey Mash sounds like a good song.
Monkey Man.
It was 2 a.m. and the band was tired and ready to go home when I say, guys, I've got one more song. So everybody's kind of groaning. It says it's going to be an easy blues type shuffle with a little gospel piano lick, and it's going to be called "The Boys Are Back in Town." You can go to Songfacts rather, and read the whole story of it. It's really interesting. There's a lot of twists and turns that happen to these guys with this. But it basically was this ICM company, all Belushi, Joel, so like, you know what I mean? I know a guy,
I know a guy.
and that's how the Busboys ended up in this movie. It's a great, it's a fun song. It's a really fun song, And then I believe we have Lily V6 in the house.
Yes,
We do.
In the house.
Oh my goodness.
He's down in the house. Hey, who's down in the house tonight? Who's down in the house?
Someone got a knife. Movie Pretty in Pink.
Oh, hold on. Let me see if I can guess this. If I can remember the song.
Okay.
Touch me once.
No,
Touch
that's
me
not the song I'm going to be
twice.
referring
that
to.
That song is in
There's
the
a lot-
movie,
yeah,
right?
there's a lot of
But it's not
songs in
performed
there.
in that
Correct.
movie.
Okay.
I'm going with Try.
And can I just say?
Oh Lord, sorry, Lily.
I know the band, because I love this name. When I heard this
OMD.
band, but what does it stand for? Orchestral Maneuvers in the Dark. It's an awesome band name.
All right,
It's an awesome. Band.
Lily's up.
Okay, so now Lily, please tell us there was a band performing or there was music performed in the movie. So go ahead.
Pretty in Pink. The song is "Try a Little Tenderness" by Otis Redding.
She skunked you.
Not Otis
You
Gay and the
thought you
Knights.
knew what it was, but guess what? You didn't. No, you didn't.
Oh yeah, you did.
One of my favorite Brat Pack movies because Andrew McCarthy is in it, so that's enough for me to love
dreamy.
it. It's the scene where Annie Potts and Molly Ringwald are waiting in the record store where Annie works, and Ducky comes through dancing to and singing "Try a Little Tenderness" because this is the only way he is able to communicate to Molly Ringwald's character his emotions that he has bottled up. He can't physically tell her, so he's singing her this, and then Andrew McCarthy shows up and ruins it all, which would happen in real life for me too. So I think it's kind of a perfect rock and roll team moment thing for me. So, there it is.
Yeah, I hated that fucking movie.
You did not hate that
I
movie.
hate that movie. It's a great soundtrack.
I love Molly Ringwald. I love Annie Potts.
But the John Cryer character was definitely he really cared for her.
Yeah, but he got his girl in the end.
She was hotter than Molly.
I never bought McCarthy's sincerity at all.
Well, I didn't that, and I don't like him as a preppy. Bothers the crap out of me.
Yeah.
My favorite Molly Ringwald movie,
Talk to me, Goose.
and I just realized because Iron Man is in it, is the pickup artist. Isn't that Iron Man?
Wow, yes.
Yeah.
And he plays a total freaking jerk.
She always plays
he
movies.
just knows how to get a lot of tail. I mean, that's all. I mean, it's not that he's a jerk. He just, and she's looking, for somebody to be more serious with her and stuff like that. But there's a scene at the beginning of the movie where they don't show it. It's John Hughes.
Yep.
It's freaking. They just show that car. What was it? Was it a Charger or something like that? Maybe it wasn't a Corvette because it was a back seat, and it's just parked, and you hear the sounds of lovemaking.
Yes.
And you hear Robert Downey Jr. just spouting off this shit, and and then you hear Molly Ringwald say, "Could you please be quiet?" And he says, "Why?" And she says, "I'll come." It's almost like her saying, "I don't really need you for this.
Shut up. Yeah.
You're just kind of now becoming an annoyance."
68 Chevy Camaro RS.
See?
Thank you, Lily.
There's your car porn.
There's your sign. Get her done.
Oh my
What other
God.
Southern comedy thing we could rip off? Okay, so do you have something? I don't feel like we haven't talked to you in a while. No, you just said the Bus Boys.
I said the Bus Boys, yeah.
I said the Buff Boys.
Buff Boys.
Buff Boys.
What
is wrong with me?
What's wrong
I
with
wish
you?
I
I
have
could answer
serious
that.
problems.
Obviously.
And
Christy.
nobody around here seems to know when to step in and help me out.
I've tried. Yeah. I've given up.
We're kind of running low on time, so I'm kind of not sure. No, we can go. It's a podcast. We go as long as we want.
Yeah,
So I'm going to dedicate this one to Lily V6.
Oh,
I'm dedicating it.
sassy.
So I'm going to open link in new tab.
Okay.
I'm going to have a tab. Remember tab?
Yeah. I can't give you a tab.
In the
unless
pink
you
can?
find something.
It's not often.
Yeah.
It's not that often when metal creeps its way into mainstream pop culture.
Oh, boy. Here
So when metal / hard rock acts do actually pop up in like a beloved sitcom or dramatic films, cartoons even, maybe even a reality series. It's kind of awesome. So, in the weekly column, remember when Metal Insider recalls the most random instances of Metal's elite appearing in front of the camera? Remember that? Peewee is possibly the 1980s most beloved man-child, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Making both kids and adults giddy with joy on the screen, on the big screen and TV.
Yes.
Why else would so many be excited to see Paul Rubens' character back in action with a new movie, Pee-wee's Big Holiday, now streaming on Netflix? However, it was Pee-wee's first foray into film realm with Pee-wee's Big Adventure in 1985 that produced an unlikely cameo from 80s metal band Twisted Sister. In Tim Burton's full-length dictatorial debut. I'm just going to
funny
say
that you made that
dictatorial debut. Twisted Sister are in the middle of filming a music video in a Hollywood studio lot when Pee-wee comes riding through, finally reunited with his bicycle, while being chased by security. Granted, Twisted Sister's cartoonish appearance would make them feel right at home with the likes of Pee-wee, and they were receiving massive commercial success with We're Not Gonna Take It and I Want to Rock at the time. However, the fact that Twisted Sister's cinematic debut included them playing Burn in Hell,
right?
Arguably one of the heaviest tracks off of Stay Hungry, is straight up awesome. And, you know, they're not even in the crazy makeup. They're like, they look like a biker.
Yeah.
Like bikers.
Oh,
yeah. In that particular
I have that
sequence.
movie.
And
I do too.
I remember going to see that in the movie theater. I saw that in the theater.
I'm
And
sure
when
I was too young.
that happened, and when his Twisted Sister came on, I just wanted to jump on my seat. Go, yes! First of all, I was really enjoying the movie. Thought it was really cool. And then when he had Twisted Sister, I'm like, is this Pee-wee? Like, he's like the coolest motherfucker on the planet.
I mean, he had Large Marge, too, so there's that.
Large Marge.
Thanks, Simone.
Everybody always has a big butt. Okay, what you got?
Oh, what do I have? We might as well just go with the Wayne's World Bohemian Rhapsody by Queen. Most iconic musical performances in a movie. Also one of my favorite. I'm a huge fan of car performances because I do it all the time. We all know the scene. They're joyriding around. The song is being played. The group gets into their choreography.
Yeah.
And very iconic performance that actually breathed the life back into the Queen song. Now you cannot hear the song without wanting to headbang during the guitar solo, which is the thing now. The studio wanted to use a Guns N' Roses song originally for the headbanging scene, but Myers demanded that it would be Bohemian Rhapsody, even threatening to quit unless it was used. Freddie Mercury passed away before the film was released, but he did get to see the scene and found it hilarious and approved it to be used in the film. So, very cool. That's all I have.
Oh my God. This isn't telling me.
Oh my goodness gracious. Now he's
here
not
we
looking
are.
up Bohemian. He's looking up something else.
I know, and I forgot about Bohemian Rhapsody. We did a whole Queen thing, right?
Yeah, we did.
Right.
And the lyrics are essentially just kind of a collection of images from like Freddie Mercury's imagination. It doesn't have any like super important meaning. It's just an awesome song. What is so interesting about Bohemian Rhapsody was a hit when it came out, then it became a hit in Wayne's World, then it became a hit again when the
With
movie Bohemian Rhapsody came out.
So this thing is still ongoing forever and ever.
And
ever.
it's what? How long is it? Some insane length.
Oh gosh, I can't remember the exact length, but it's up
Is
there
it over
with
7 minutes?
It's around 7
It
minutes.
is,
It's
yeah.
a 7-minute thing, and it's a big hit. And it just goes to show that, like, if you write something fucking epic, people aren't stupid. They know when something is epic.
Yeah.
So, radio, record people, start taking some chances on, and let's get some epic shit out there.
Yeah.
Let's mix it up. We're doing too much of the same shit.
sadly.
Yeah, sadly, but it's all good. Let's not we don't want to digress into that. But the great pick. This is probably the most obvious one. I'm going to just say one very quickly because unless you want, do you want to talk about Back to the Future? Yes,
No, because I thought somebody was going to do it, so I didn't
Did you
put it on
do you
my
have it on
list.
yours?
I didn't do it because you.
Yeah, everybody thought like somebody else was going to do it. But the most like the one that the thing that inspired this podcast was Marty McFly playing
Right.
Johnny B. Good, you know, and adding a little Van Halen there, you know, in it in Back to the Future, and this is one of the greatest things that ever happened in American culture was the Back to the Future thing.
Yes.
Yeah,
It's got
agreed.
everything. It's got
everything.
It's got absolutely everything you would want. It's funny as hell, and it's got rock and roll in it. If you're not familiar, there's a scene. They're in the 50s. Marty McFly is from the 1980 whatever, mid 80s.
I would say 85.
October
85.
26, 1985.
Yeah, I
There
knew
you are.
it was 85.
And so he gets he's trying to stall for time, so he gets up on stage with the band at this prom or dance or under the sea.
The enchantment under the sea dance.
Enchantment
The
under the
fish
sea
under the
dance.
sea dance.
I'd like to be.
My sister and I went to an enchantment under the sea dance at Bonnaroo. But go ahead.
Nice. That sounds fun. And so to kind of stall for time because he's got something going on, he grabs a guitar off of the guitar player and starts playing Johnny Be Good, like a year or so before Johnny Be Good actually came out.
Right.
And it's so insane. First of all, it sounds awesome.
Yeah.
Like it really sounds really, really good. And it's got a contemporary like sound with but still really grounded. Still really grounded in that. And of course he's got the amp cranked so it's distorting and you're like, yes! And he ends it by kicking the amp over and it's like,
And everybody in the audience.
And
is
everybody
like,
at first people in the audience are rocking out, but then when he gets too crazy, they're like, what?
What is
and he
going
does
on?
a moment of like where he does a kind of Eddie Van Halen two-hand tapping for those of you who are what that is, for a second in the thing, and it's like over the top.
but it's so wonderful.
And it is just freaking great. It's just freaking awesome. Another thing that there's another moment in that movie where, and it's very, very brief during the band's auditioning.
Oh, yeah.
I know.
And
Yeah,
they're
yeah.
playing Back in Time by Huey
Yeah.
Lewis and the News. And the guy who's judging the talent show is Huey Lewis.
Yep.
I'm not going to recite the whole thing. It's a great thing. You should go back and watch
They're
it.
too loud.
Yeah.
That's what he says.
And in any case, so Johnny Be Good, Michael J. Fox, and there's so many cool things about this. First of all, the movie is an amazing movie. Second of all, Michael J. is a musician and loves rock and roll. He's like a real, if you're not familiar, he did a movie with Joan Jett,
Light of Day.
Light of Day, which features the song by Bruce frickin' Springsteen, Light of Day, which is an amazing song. But in any case, it's a really awesome movie moment, and I don't think I need to explain Johnny Be Good. It's
I hope not.
one of the first rock and roll songs that was ever happened, by the first true guitar hero, rock guitar hero.
The father of rock and roll.
Yeah, I mean that's a you know what, that would be a good podcast.
What's that?
Chuck Berry versus Elvis.
Oh my goodness.
I think we should do it.
We haven't done a versus in a hot
We
second.
haven't done a versus, and you know what? Yeah, screw it. I know these are old dudes, but like the kids got to learn, man. We got to show. We got to.
Yo, man, we got to teach the Peewees, man.
That's right.
Educate.
Gotta touch a Peewee.
We got to educate them.
That's right.
So, I'm gonna end. This is. I think do you guys have any pressing ones you want to talk about?
I talked about all
I'm
those
just gonna
big
say
ones.
this because this is a real fun one for me because I'm not a big fan of this movie, but Jamiroquai may be one of my absolute all-time favorite bands. Canned Heat by Jamiroquai. Okay. Charted number 4 on the UK charts. Canned heat is a substance. Am I doing this correctly?
I don't know.
Yeah. Canned
Yes.
heat is a substance. Well, because I was afraid that I was reading about the band Canned Heat.
Oh, no.
And I was like,
I see now.
was going to I embarrass myself usually at least
Silly
once
boy.
on every podcast.
You're
Still
doing good on
want
this
to
one.
like continue doing
You're
it.
doing a good job.
Okay. Canned heat is a substance that when found on your heels, it will give you a strong urge to dance. I did not know that. The song boogied all the way to number 1 on the U.S. dance chart, giving Jamiroquai their second chart topper. In the catering industry, canned heat are those little tins filled with a
sternos.
gelatinous. Oh, I like that word.
Gelatinous.
There's a band named Gelatinous Substance.
Oh, there it is. I knew
We
that was
are
gonna happen.
gelatinous.
There you go.
I have a thing on my phone of band names when I think of them. So I got to write down gelatinous. Anyways, it's a gelatinous substance that, when lit, it can place under a metal dishes to keep the food warm. We've all seen it at
Sterno.
weddings
Of course,
and
sternos.
stuff, right?
Yeah.
Sterno.
Right.
There was a time when the stuff could be ingested for a cheap high.
Hey, now.
The blues musician Tommy Johnson wrote a song about this in 1928 called Canned Heat Blues. The song provided the name for the band Canned Heat, which formed in '66 and played Woodstock. The song that plays in the 2004 Napoleon Dynamite, this is what I'm talking about a movie when Napoleon shocks his classmates by doing a mesmerizing dance routine for his friend Pedro, who's running for president. So this is what I'm talking about, the song. The song returned to Billboard's Hot Dance and Dance Electronic Streaming Charts in 2014 as a result of a viral video created by a college student, Matt Bray. The clip shows Bray dancing daily for 121 days to the Jamiroquai track with the edited visual using 1 second of footage from each day.
Oh, that's cool.
Wow.
That's cool.
That's committed.
That's some serious Final Cut Pro.
Right?
You got your money's worth there, Matt. This is we're a rock show, but the Jamiroquai has two great guitar players, really killer musicians, and I would encourage you if you're going like Jamiroquai, Jules Holland. They've done a few different performances on Jules Holland. Look them up and watch those performances. It will convince any rocker that this is an amazing, kick-ass band. Just absolutely amazing. You need to check.
Oh,
them out.
I enjoy them, and that's surprising for me.
Yeah. So, anyways, fun podcast. We did not mention I Say a Little Prayer for You from My Best Friend's Wedding, or Don't Go Chasing Waterfalls from We're the Millers.
I didn't like that one, but I get why it's on
And
the list.
this, because Heath Ledger, rest in peace, Can't Take My Eyes Off of You from 10 Things I Hate About You.
Saw it in the
And
theater.
this was on my list, but I didn't get a chance to talk about it. Holding Out for a Hero. Jennifer Saunders sings it on Shrek 2.
It's pretty epic
Yeah.
for a cartoon.
And of course, the Wayne's World. 27 Dresses doing in the 2008 film 27 Dresses with the song Benny and the Jets. 40-year-old version, Age of Aquarius, and Let the
I don't remember
Sunshine
this
In.
movie.
What? 40-year-old virgin?
Yeah, I know I've seen it,
With
but
Steve Carell?
I don't remember it
Oh.
at all. I think because I hated it. I would have.
All right, I'm not going to drag out the whole thing telling my 40-year-old virgin story. I have a funny story about that movie. Not about being a 40-year-old virgin.
Too late.
Oh, you guys
We
suck.
already think that now.
He was
You
39
guys
and a half.
suck shit out of
39 and a
ass.
We think
No,
it
we
now.
don't.
Ha, ha, ha,
Yeah,
ha.
you're taking some shit right now.
No, we're not. Oh, yeah, we are.
Yes, I see what you're doing, man. I see how you all are. You guys used to be my peeps, and that's the problem. Y'all ain't my peeps no more. Anyways, just for that smart-ass comment, on this day, 1963,
Oh, no.
the Beatles
Beatles!
played the Cavern Club at lunchtime.
At lunchtime?
And then the evening played the Majestic Ballroom.
Oh, look at them.
They sure escalated quickly.
Oh, my goodness. Escalated.
It went from the Cavern Club to the Majestic Ballroom.
Speaking of ballroom, I
Here's
can't. I
that
gotta tell you guys.
ballroom.
I gotta tell you guys this. Hold on a second.
Is it about your underwear?
It's not about my underwear. This is
Ballroom?
really exciting. We're gonna get back to this day in music, but I can't. But I have to mention this now.
Here we go.
Everybody,
I have to
sit
mention
down,
this.
strap in.
I have
Hold
to
on.
mention this now.
Lou's got something for you.
Because we have some great shows coming up for you guys.
Oh, do we?
Next week,
Birthday
24.
Bill.
Sorry.
Holy.
Okay. So this is Lily. We're gonna be really counting on you for this. 10
I can help you out.
next week. 10. This is for the 24th. Excuse me. 10 80s bands / artists that you should know. Part 1. So what we're going for here is like, look, we don't. Yes, Motley Crue, Van Halen.
no,
Okay,
you want one
calm
song
down.
now.
Everybody, just take the chill seat right here.
Simmer
Here,
down.
here. This is the chill pill. Just take it, Kevin. Okay. So
I'm writing it down.
we're talking about bands that are just like, you come up with some, and I want you guys to think about this too. Bands that just like, oh, that was a cool band. Maybe they have a lot of big hits. Maybe you have all their albums and they only had like one hit, that kind of band that was just like still really cool and people should know about. So that's the 24th. On the 31st, 10 bands that remind us that classic rock isn't dead. And there's some great bands out right now that are very current that are like, no. Where's the rock is fine. Just calm down.
I have several.
Noise.
And so I'll just and if you want to go, if you really want to step into Mr. Peabody's like forward machine. We're going to open February with the greatest novelty rock songs of all time, part 1.
There you go.
I see what you're going with. Okay. I'm reading your hashtags there. Okay. So we're real. So we have some fun stuff. So be thinking about that stuff as in the upcoming weeks. Let's see here. Hey, with a monkey. NBC TV. in the United States bought the Monkees series, placing it on the air in 1966. In the autumn schedule, the series centered on the adventures of the Monkees, a struggling rock band from Los Angeles, California, and introduced a number of innovative new wave film techniques to television.
I can't believe how the Beatles ripped them off. I cannot believe it.
Speaking of 40-year-old virgins, on this day in 1967, 40-year-old Dave Mason, he was not a virgin, I'm sure, recorded the piccolo trumpet solo for the Beatles' song Penny Lane.
Yes.
He was paid $42.
Oh.
Righteous bucks. Hey, $42 is $42.
In 1967 dollars, yeah. This is kind of this is a dorky fact. On this day in 1967, the Daily Mail ran the story about a local council survey finding 4,000 holes in the road in Lancashire, inspiring John Lennon's contribution to the song A Day in the Life.
Huh. And there it is.
The Doors. 1970, The Doors played the first of 4 shows at the Felt Forum in New York City. The shows were recorded for the band's forthcoming Absolutely Live album. We were talking about doing a show on Elvis Presley. In this day in 72, a section of Bellevue Boulevard in Memphis was renamed Elvis Presley Boulevard. On this day in 1976 was... Do you remember?
Yeah.
It was our country's it was the band's 200th birthday.
Children.
The bicentennial.
I wasn't born yet.
Everybody was excited.
You missed it. It was bitching.
Dude, it was a year building up, man.
Right.
I remember, dude, it was on TV constantly. This was good. The bicentennial was going to do this and this. And then years after the bicentennial was over, you would occasionally go to a city somewhere and you would see, like, their old bicentennial, like, whatever.
Remember
the
fire hydrants, the fire plugs were all painted red, white, and blue?
Mm-hmm.
Remember that? Remember?
It was 15.
It was it was called people really being excited about living in the greatest fucking country in the world, and unfortunately we don't have it anymore. But on this day in 1976, our country's this was like, so we're talking January 17th. On this day, 1976, our country's bicentennial, Barry Manilow scored his second #1 U.S. single with "I Write the Songs Which Make the Whole World Sing."
You sound just as good
Written
as him.
by Beach Boys, Bruce Johnson.
I did not know that.
I kind of feel like Lou's a better singer, but that's okay.
Oh, Lord Jesus. Okay, we can't miss this one.
Okay, here we go.
On this day in the wonderful year of 1981, Motley Crue formed when bass guitarist Nikki Sixx left the band London and began rehearsing with drummer Tommy Lee and vocalist, guitarist Greg Leon, who later left. Sixx and Lee then added Mick Mars. Vince Neil accepted an offer to join in the April of the same year. So this was the day the Motley Crue started.
I know, they're as old as I am.
The birth of the Crue.
Happy birthday!
Same year.
There was some Rock and Roll Hall of Fame inductions with some cool people in this day.
Yeah.
And I think we are... singer Lou Rawls was arrested in Albuquerque, New Mexico, after an incident with his companion, Nina Iman. Officers reported she and Rawls had been talking about their relationship when the conversation escalated quickly.
They sure did.
Into a stabbing match, resulting in Rawls being booked on one count of battery on a household member. Sad on this day, 2011, American music publisher, talent agent, songwriter Don Kirshner, who helped launch the career of Neil Diamond, Bobby Darin, Carole King, Neil Sedaka, the Monkees, the Archies, and Kansas, died of heart failure at the age of 76.
Was he the Midnight Special guy? It was the Don Kirshner's Midnight Special, the TV show.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, he was Don. No, he wasn't the Midnight Special. It was
Don
Don
Kirshner's
Rock concert.
That's it.
Yeah, it wasn't. No, the Midnight Special was
Sorry,
Wolfman
I get
Jack.
a little confused.
Midnight Special was Wolfman Jack. What's wrong with you?
Wolfman Jack.
I'm taking your 80s card away.
Children.
Your 70s card.
My 70s.
Yeah, the 70s card.
I'm in my 70s.
You can keep the 80s one.
Okay, thank you.
Mick Taylor was this guitarist
Yes.
who was in the Rolling Stones like after Brian Jones, but before Ronnie Wood.
Right.
The Stones were a little lost for a while. You know what I mean?
Things happen.
And before they found Ronnie Wood. But happy birthday to Mick Taylor today.
Happy birthday.
But he worked in John Mayall's Blues Breakers as well.
Ah.
I mean, that band birthed, Mick Taylor, but of course Eric Clapton and Peter Green.
Yes.
Oh my goodness! Happy birthday to Sheila Hutchinson from The Emotions. Steve Earle down on Copperhead Ray. Can you do Copperhead Ray one more time? Was born this day in 1955. Steve Earle is an insanely talented, very eclectic taste in music guy.
Yeah.
Like great songwriter. Please listen to some of his other songs.
It's not just that one
like
song.
believe me, like you.
But I do like the one song.
You will
Yeah,
love. You will
yeah.
love everything he does. He's awesome. If you just started with that album. Start with that album. There's a lot of other great songs on that album. He does a song on that album with the Pogues. And when
Really?
I saw he did that, I'm like, this dude is
This
like
guy-
really
yeah.
fucking like he's
legit.
He's hip. He's hip.
It's too legit.
And he's not hip to be square.
Oh.
Paul Young,
Ah.
singer, had the 1983 number one single in the UK. Wherever I lay my hat, that's my home. Number one single. Every time you go away.
That's it.
That was the big
that one.
Yep.
Yep.
Born in say 1956.
Oh.
I saw Jez Strode from Kajagoogoo, and I thought of Laurie Strode from Halloween. I thought no relation. Happy birthday to,
The one and only.
We talk about a lot of female rock artists,
Yeah.
This one
who
never
like
comes up.
really inspired people and stuff. And somehow we have never talked about Susanna Hoffs. Sweet Rickenbacker playing. young
Don't think
lady.
about her immediately. That's the problem.
Insanely great singer, great harmonizer, guitar, vocals with, of course, the Bangles.
Right.
They did the song "Manic Monday," which is a Prince song, by the way. So even Prince was like impressed.
He's impressed.
He
If
knew.
Prince is impressed, it's a thing. But Kevin and I were talking that she's done some great records with, I'm going to say his name wrong, Matthew.
Matthew. I was
Sweet.
just going to say, Matthew Sweet.
They have a series of records. You should check them out. They just do great remakes of 70 songs, maybe a couple real early 80s, but like primarily 70 stuff. And they have a great vocal blend. Really,
Yeah.
their vocal blend is as good as Stevie Nicks and Lindsey Buckingham.
Yeah,
They
definitely,
really,
yeah.
it's totally together. You would totally enjoy it. Happy birthday to John Crawford, the bassist with Berlin. Berlin!
That's good.
Yeah, I remember him. Yeah,
And
that's right.
the ever interesting and controversial, but we love him anyways, Robert James Ritchie, more well known as Kid Rock. Born this day in 1971.
Why did he change his name?
John Wasaki, a drummer for Staind, was born this day in
Yep.
1974. And that's pretty much what we got.
Woof.
Fun, and I gave you guys a little bit of a preview of what's coming up in the next few
Yeah.
weeks. We're excited. We're doing some fun stuff.
Yeah,
but next
boy.
week is the 24th, and that will be 10 80s bands / artists that you should know. Part 1, and something we're going to be doing. We're going to be doing part 1s, part 2s, part 3s because we can't get. There's
Yeah,
so
there's
many
so
times
much
we get
to
into
do,
something,
yeah.
and it's just like
We never
can't
finish.
get to the whole thing. So
Yeah, I never got to talk about Euro trips. Scotty doesn't know tonight.
Oh, my
So
gosh.
that's going to be.
You can skip it. It's fine.
What are you talking about?
That's a horrible movie.
It's a horrible movie,
And
but I
scene.
find myself every now and again singing that song. I don't know why. Scotty doesn't know.
Song's fine.
Yeah,
The scene sucks.
Yeah,
scene sucks.
scene sucks.
So that will be next week. shout out to Wolf's Customs. Check out Wolf's Customs on social media, primarily Facebook. Talk to Chris under Wolf Dodson about getting some custom paint work done on your musical instrument. RockRageRadio.com is where you want to go to hear great music content 24/7. Please check out Loudini Rock and Roll Circus and LouLombardiMusic.com. They get you access to all kind of cool stuff. Oh, including things like merchandise and things like that. Yes. So check it out. I mentioned Rock Rage Radio. We do have one of the Rock Rage Radio personalities as part of the Loudini Rock and Roll Circus podcast. That's Lily V6. Lily, why don't you tell everybody about your show?
My show is Hot Licks with Lily 6 on Thursdays, 6 p.m. Eastern. You can download the app for free or just go to rockrageradio.com. I'm playing a whole bunch of new music, and I interviewed Leon from Offensive, and that will be on this week. So nice. It will be good stuff.
That's what I was going to ask you. So is your show primarily interviews, or is there? What do you do?
It's primarily music. I do event announcements, and every other week or so, I'll do an interview. So yeah.
Okay. Well, there you have it, guys. Mr. Pittsburgh, anything you would like the folks at home to know about you, or?
Know that I love each and every one of you. Each and every one of you. Different ways,
oh
mind
my
you,
God.
But each and every one of you I love.
He loves you in a non-faggot kind of way.
Some of you.
And some of you so much.
There's a band named the Non-Faggots.
Write it down.
Write it down.
Views expressed by the Loudini.
Gelatinous substance.
Or even just gelatinous.
Gelatinous.
I could see that in lights.
Can you?
In neon?
Can you really?
Playing at Jurgles.
Pink.
Gelatinous.
Green
Back
neon.
and forth.
Green gelatinous somethings.
God, stop.
Substances.
Moist gelatinous.
Moist gelatinous.
Substance.
You know, that is the most.
I'm gonna throw up.
They've studied it. It is the most hated word.
I know. Until Steven Tyler says it, then I'm okay with it. He said it once in a
Listen,
commercial.
Lord Jesus.
When it comes to cake, I want it moist.
Duncan Hines. Or Drunken Hines in my case.
Drunken Hines.
Woo! Oh my God. We've whittled away another hour and 20 minutes.
It's all right.
And I really hope that y'all appreciate our efforts out there, because you know what's.
Yeah.
It looks easy.
Does it though?
Bones.
I kind of feel like my face would say otherwise.
But there's a lot going on here.
I mean, yeah.
So that's because the reason it looks easy, Lily, right, is because we are professionals.
I'm sorry. Were you serious? Were you serious about that?
So anyways, really, and to echo Mr. Pittsburgh's words, yes, we do love each and every one of you, except you over there. You can fuck off. You guys have a wonderful week, okay? I'm being serious about that. I want you to have a wonderful week, seriously. But you fuck off. And no, it's all good. It's all good, except for you. All right, have a great week, guys. We'll catch you all on the next Loudini Rock and Roll Circus.